is Suraya Binti Ismail, metric number 273423 from Group Kiwi. In this video, we will discuss about the case of Blackrock, linking purpose to profit. Before we go details in this case, I will give some idea about the situation and problems that faced by the Blackrock company. Larry Fink is the chairman of Blackrock, an asset management firm with the help from Barbara Novick, the vice chair and co-founder of Blackrock, and also Michelle Atkins, the managing director and global head of Blackrock investment stewardship team. Larry Fink wants to promote the idea of long-term financial return to other companies' CEO, where it focuses on environmental, social and governance issues that at the end of the day will profit the company itself. Larry Fink sent multiple number of letters to CEO, and some give positive feedbacks, and also there are some negative feedbacks. As Larry really determined with this idea, Novick and Atkins are in charge to stewardship ESG idea to other CEOs that curious about it. Both of them now in dilemma whether they have to actively persuade or slow down the stewardship of ESG. This action needs to consider the stewardship theory and also some decision criteria that we will take a look later. Both decisions have their own pros and cons that Novick and Atkins need to consider with. This is not only an idea that we need to relate with the CEOs, but need to consider with the shareholders too. So let's take a look on how our group discussed about this case.
Assalamualaikum and greetings everyone. My name is Khairul Izuan Kamaruzaman, matrix number 261104, and I'll be presenting the problem statement of the Blackrock case. So in this letter, it tends to center on the actions that Barbara Novick and Michelle Atkins would have to take in response to Larry Fink in his controversial letter. Following this letter, the problem that can be derived is whether Barbara Novick and Michelle Atkins should need to actively involve in stewardship other CEOs to consider the environmental, social and governance issues (ESG) for their long-term financial return. The symptom of the mentioned problem was clearly stated that many companies were too focused on meeting their short-term targets and engaging in share buybacks rather than investing for the long term. As a result, there were inadequate attentions and efforts for the company's long-term targets. Having said that, the dilemma arises when some entities had a difference of opinion, and that disagreement were mostly concerns on how to engage the ESG issues and also its worthiness. Pursuing this further, we discovered that the case also discussed about the lack of standardized ESG framework and its strategy on how to engage with the ESG issues and also its stewardship as the long-term problem. The issue of the differences in terms of purpose between the management and the stakeholders also become one of the challenges to implement the changes proposed by Larry Fink. In the long term, the factors and effects may differ among companies over time because as a result of the rapid changes in business environment. So to wrap it all factors need to be considered in deciding whether Atkins and Novick should engage in stewardship other CEOs to consider ESG in their business operation, and also how to engage with it if they choose to do so. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Qihang. Now I'd like to discuss about the cause of the problem. In this case, we can see the main issue is differences among different shareholders over Larry Fink's proposal. Larry Fink wants company to invest more in ESG. ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. Investors are increasingly applying those non-financial factors as part of their analysis process to identify material risks and growth opportunities. Some shareholders believe that investing in ESG as good long-term investment will be good for the company's future, while others are more focused on short-term benefits, arguing that the benefits of such long-term investments are unclear. Directors manage money that is not their own, and it is hard to expect them to be honest and worry as true shareholders. As a result, they often make mistakes in managing company's affairs. In this regard, I would like to introduce you the concept of stewardship theory, which states that managers are intrinsically motivated to perform their duties. Differences in their motivations leads to this disagreement, with some focusing on long-term interests, while others are more interested in short-term interests. Literature shows that inside directors have more high-quality information that helps managers make better, more objective long-term decisions. This means that more directors have more information to assist their judgment than outside directors, which also leads to differences.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nila, Natasa, Chikita, Binti, Norizam. My matrix number is 27294, and today I'm going to present decision criteria and alternative solution of Blackrock. Decision criteria that can be considered by Atkins and Novick in order to make a better finance decision is: first, ability of the company. Atkins and Novick need to know either CEO is able to proceed with the strategies or not, by investigate either other company are financial enough to continue with the plan or not. They could not compare with Blackrock because Blackrock is the world's largest asset management firm, so their financial is different with other company. Second, make an engagement. Atkins and Novick need to interact with investor and current or potential investees in order to improve practice on an ESG issue, change accessibility outcome in the real world, or improve public disclosure. They can also make an engagement with non-insurers such as policy makers or standard setters for more information. Third, foresee voting practice. Atkins and Novick need to consider exercising voting right on management or shareholder resolution to formally express approval or disapproval on relevant matters, especially considering Blackrock had a poor record on voting, and some even view that Blackrock's record voting is more to greenwashing and cheap talk than appeal. And lastly, affect the company. Atkins and Novick need to know how the ESG implementation affect the company's short-term and long-term financial and how it will benefit the company. Alternative solution of finance decision that can be think over for Atkins and Novick. First is actively stewardship is as idea to other CEO. So the advantage if Novick and Atkins choose this solution is Blackrock can improve their long-term financial return because ESG acknowledge the trade-off between ethical principle and profit motive. And second is the implementation of ESG can minimize regulatory and legal interventions by showing that the business values business ethics and transparency. Legal authorities are more likely to trust the business, but it can ease regulatory pressure and leading to greater strategic freedom. Why this disadvantages if Atkins and Novick choose this solution is, since the environmental science, social justice issues, and corporate governance theory all pose new question today than they did 25 years ago, they will almost certainly present the new themes in the next 25 years. So Blackrock need to always reiterate and expand their theme. And second is, aside from the question of what ethical principle and ESG strategy follows, one of the most contentious issues surrounding socially responsible and investing is whether it has a negative or beneficial impact on investment returns. Second solution is reduce stewardship of ESG idea to other CEO. So the advantage advantage if Atkins and Novice choose reduce their ownership is Blackrock can save money because its ESG are expensive due to the financial firms often view ESG approaches as premium products and give them higher fees. And disadvantage if they choose reduce their ownership is Blackrock's innovation stunted because reframing business practices and products to meet environmental or social needs open window of opportunity to rethink statement processes and reimagine possibilities. It allows creative thinking to flow and encourages employees to rise to the occasion and do their part to make the world a more sustainable, efficient, and equitable place to do the business. That's all from me. Next, I will pass to Liu.
Hello everyone, my name is Liu Guoqing. I will present the recommendation solution, implementation and justification for this case. We advise that Atkins and Novice should reduce stewardship of ESG idea to add the CEO. The downside of this recommendation is that Blackrock's innovation well stunted. Instead, the organization can gain innovation through developing fintech such as robo-advisor technology. This technology is quickly becoming a key tool for resource management companies looking to grow their operations. We choose to reduce stewardship of ESG idea to add the CEO for three reasons. Firstly, ESG is implied to achieve long-term financial returns, and there is no specific measure of long-term. But shareholders want them to be able to measure and gain the annual return generated by the project. Secondly, the capacity to apply ESG depends on the size and cash flow of the company. Blackrock is likely to be successful in their ESG application as they are the largest resource management company. Other companies will face higher risks in their application. Thirdly, even if any company agrees to Blackrock, this must be explained to all shareholders, and most companies will have many shareholders, not every one of whom will support the execution of the project, may lead to loss of shareholders. That's all from us, Group Kiwi. Thank you.